This is Jets at Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
We've said it, a couple times recently where the reads and trying to make the play were there. We just weren't making the play, and that's the difference in the game. Maybe we score a couple early, we get the lead, it looks totally different. But they're a tough team to come back on. They're very patient defensively, and ultimately, it wasn't a very good ending for us.
That was Adam Lowry following, right here on the 680 CJOB postgame show, by the way. Following the 6-1 loss to the Boston Bruins last night. This hour brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road, and at washmethod.com. VIP text to win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. Coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for Gourmet Pizza and Pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Ron texts the show, 204-780-6868, and says, I have my popcorn ready for Free For All Friday. Never been so torn as a Jets fan. Chris just says, Free For All! Is this appointment listening for Winnipeg Jets fans?
Free For All!
Because of what happened last night?
Friday. Well, after the game last night, I thought it was going to be a wild Free For All Friday. And we got to think about
for this.
Everything.
Phone line's already jammed, Jim. Let's go to the phone.
Because we got to think about it today.
We got to think about some stuff. Richard's on the show. Hey, Richard, welcome to the show.
And I need to apologize to you guys. I made a comment last week about Kyle Connor, and I was totally wrong. And let me explain to you why I found out. I went on YouTube and I looked up programs that talk about the responsibility of the offensive player when he's in his defensive zone. And here's what I found out, gentlemen. Kyle Connor is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. In other words, in the defensive zone, they separate it into 4 zones, okay? And he's responsible to look after the upper quadrant, which is from the drop of the puck to the blue line.
F3.
And the reason why he has to do that, gentlemen, is because it's up to the defenseman in the corners to get that puck to him so he can get it out of the defensive zone. And it's also important that he protects that area because a lot of shots come from that area that lead to goals. So I was so stupid, and you have to forgive me.
Well, Richard, don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah,
listen, and I appreciate you because you know what, Richard? You're a good dude. Because I will tell you this, and no, hold on a second. You have humility, and you came out, you said what you said I think it was last week.
Yeah.
And I let you have your word out there, and then you went back, and people aren't enough like you, Richard, that they went back and researched what they said to make sure what they said was correct, and then came on and then corrected what you said that was incorrect.
Yeah,
people don't do that nowadays. But it's like everybody wants to go after Kyle Connor in the corner. Well, if every forward is in the corner digging the puck up, well, who are they going to get the puck to if they get the puck out of the corner?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to say, if you go back to that game last night, he did go in the corner, and what happened? When he did do that and he didn't stay in that area, he threw the puck up to a Bruin and he shot it in the net. Right?
Well, yeah, a bad turnover, definitely. Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, fans, you've got to become more knowledgeable in the game to make a comment. And so, please forgive me. I feel terrible about it. You know what? The only thing I pray for right now is that we get a good, a top-notch draft pick. And gentlemen, I love your program. I love you guys because at least you're honest with everybody. So thank you so much.
Well, Richard, thanks so much. I have to give you a car.
Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up. I appreciate you, and I got to give you a car wash for that.
No. You know what? You give it to somebody who really needs it because I've got plenty of money. I don't need it.
All right.
Richard.
Okay, Richard's loaded.
So much.
You're the Mother Teresa of Jets fandom.
Richard,
he just keeps.
Richard, I have a business proposition for you. It's gonna take about $50K. I'll just email me back. It's a high risk, high reward venture. Just email me, cam@cjob.com. We can talk.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And like I said, keep up the good work.
Don't do it,
I
Richard.
love Kyle Connor.
Thank you, Richard.
Now.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great way to
Thanks,
start.
Brian.
That's a great way to start. I mean, don't beat yourself up. It's really nice. Not a lot of people like to admit when they're wrong. Don't beat yourself up.
And
It's
Richard,
all
do
conversation.
not go into business with me. That was a way for me to steal $50,000 from you.
Yeah. I'm going to watch out for Richard.
I'm going to
watch out for Richard.
I'm going to admit that.
Richard, I see Richard by your desk. I'm going to ask him to leave. You leave Richard alone. He's a good guy.
Chris, Texas Show, says, what is this guy going on about? We want full meltdown today by the fans, not sober reanalysis. I don't know what to say. Sorry, Chris.
I was driving in today, and I'm like,
We're 5 minutes into the show, so it can still happen.
Somebody's going to burn Jets.
Well, welcome to the show. Hey, Steve. Welcome to the show.
Cam Poitras, please.
Speaking. Hi, Steve.
Pittsburgh Penguin jersey. I'm a size XL.
Ooh. What did I say? Remind me what my bet was.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, if they win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Yes. And so this is sort of, I have two questions.
I have to buy you a Pens jersey, right? Is that what it was?
The home jersey.
And I'm going to put Connor Hellebuyck, number 37 on the back.
No, you put 87 on the back.
87?
Okay,
who's that? Who's 87?
I'm going to hang up.
You might have to call Richard back and borrow $280 for a jersey.
I know. I'll be real quick, I promise. Yeah. You must agree that the Penguins, I'm not saying they're the favorite, but they've at least got, somewhat of a shot. No, yes?
Well, making the playoffs, for sure they do. Much higher of an opportunity than that.
I'm talking about winning it all. I know they're not a favorite.
Well, yeah, if they're in the playoffs, then they definitely have a chance.
Right, okay, and then this one, I'm going to hang up. Two real quick parter about the Jets. They're being criticized for not taking a extra forward on the road trip. I can sort of get that sort of. I can sort of see both sides of that. Your opinion. And the last thing before I hang up, Nyquist is getting a ton of heat. Is that fair? I don't see him being that bad, but I don't know.
He's got one goal, and he was supposed to come in here. Yeah, thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. He has one goal, so any level of criticism against Gustav Nyquist, I think is warranted. I don't. He came in here to be a difference maker, or at least provide 40, 50 points of offense. He has one goal. So any amount of criticism for him, is indefensible for me. I can't go after anybody.
I also heard some criticism of him that he had the fifth most minutes amongst forwards last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
he's got to contribute more. He's got to score more. He does a lot of the like everybody says. Why do they keep running him out there? Why is he? Well, the experience he has, like in a game like last night where nobody's playing well. I just run him out there. He's got experience, right? As opposed to maybe playing a younger kid. Now, the lines were changed up. I wrote them down going into the third, and Lambert went up to the top line, and there was some movement around. Nyquist was on the fourth still. But, at this point, I don't feel bad for him, but I'm just like, this has been a disaster for him.
Well,
for his last year in the National Hockey. If this is it for him, this has been a disaster.
It's been a disaster. And okay, go back to Steve's question about about not bringing up another forward for the trip. Whoever it would be, I think, is better off with the Moose at this moment. I think they'll be okay on this road trip. And you're also going to be because you can only do 3 more. You have to be very selective, I think. And listen,
they only have 2 more, yeah.
2 more, or is there 3?
Yeah, only
2 more, okay. So they have...
one's going to be for Terrell Bauer to give him some NHL time for the first time in his career. And for what a great
trooper he's been.
Trooper's been for the Moose and stuff. And then the other one's probably going to be Jagger. I think they bring up Jagger and give him a look.
Yeah, and so...
and I say Jagger over Barlow because I think Barlow is right where he needs to be as an 18-year-old first-year pro.
Yeah, and so...
Or 20.
Just and listen, the Jets right now have a 4.4% chance of making the playoffs, according to MoneyPuck.com, 4.4%.
21, sorry, Barlow's 21, but his first year of pro hockey.
Yeah, so... It's of my opinion is that they're going to hold off on those if they can, for as long as they can to do those call-ups. But when this does come to an end,
they're still in it, and I know there's a 4% chance. I'm not saying they're still in it, but the thing is, they've got a great chance of doing it.
It's not 0 yet.
Everybody needs to comprehend this, understand it. To the guys in the room, you start resting veterans, and you're giving up.
And they haven't given up.
And
yet.
If you're in that room. And you're the veteran who gets sat, or if you're the veteran that has to go out there with some young kids because other vets are getting sad and you're giving up, and you still literally have a chance, albeit minute, that doesn't go over well.
Let's go back to the phones here. Reynolds on the show. Hey, Reynolds.
Yeah, good day.
Good day.
So what I'm going to say is, how do you turn around the Winnipeg Jets? It all starts in the off season, okay? Yeah, there's a chance of them making the playoffs. Okay, there's always hope. But after 15 years, you know who starts with the how turning around the Jets? Mr. Chipman, okay? So Mr. Chipman has to seriously look at his loyalty boys, which is Hellebuyck and Arniel, and ask some hard questions. Are these the guys that can turn around the Winnipeg Jets? Is Chevy the guy, the GM, to assemble a Stanley Cup team? And is Arniel the guy to coach the Jets?
So Reynolds,
he doesn't.
Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought.
And I says a lot of times, you know what? He's never benches Scheifele or Connor, like when they're defensive laps. Last night he benched Fleury. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to bench your stars to get the message through, because that's what good coaches do.
Well, I mean, there was a problem with compete as that game went on. There's no doubt about that. There was a problem with the way that the Jets managed the puck in their own zone, which how many goals did that directly lead to? All of them, Jim?
Yeah.
Every single one. And I think the thing that was the most disappointing was watching. There was way too many guys standing still yesterday. There's way too many guys standing upright. It was. I have not seen them act like that all season long. So, Reynolds, I want to make that. I want to say that
they started out okay. They started out in the first period, the first 10, 12 minutes, and the second and third they were not good.
Reynolds, I think the question is the one that you should be asking is this year a one-off, right? Because if this year is just a one-off, and next year they need to make some tweaks, they need to make some changes to fix this team going into next season, right? I don't think that it's like the guys to turn this around necessarily. I know the season has been so disappointing. They're in sixth last in the whole entire NHL. I know they're still in the playoff spot and all that. I don't see this thing as having to be totally turned around, Jim. I mean, are we in the same boat on this?
And they do this.
I just think it's like, is Hellebuyck the guy and Scott Arniel the guy to be a part of the tweaks that need to be made moving forward? I think we need to see what Hellebuyck does in the offseason. And I will say this, I've been 50-50 on Scott Arniel, and I've said that many times over the course of the last couple of weeks. 50% he is the coach, 50% he isn't. What bodes well to me for Scott Arniel, and I know that last night was not a good way to lead into what I'm about to say, is the way that this team has come out of the break, the adjustments that he has made and the buy-in that he's got from the players, because they've played way better coming out of the break. Would you admit that, Reynolds? They have. He's made the adjustment. He does still have the ear of the players. They have not quit on him. And he's made good systemic moves to get the team going in the right direction coming out of the Olympic break. That tells me that Scott Arniel still has the capacity to turn this team around and make the necessary fixes next season. So that to me says that maybe Scott Arniel is the right guy next year. Does that make sense to you?
And they do this every year, Reynolds. Even after last year when they won the President's Cup and lost in the second round, they evaluate everything, including coaching GM. It just was a lot. I'm pretty sure it was a very short evaluation last year after what they accomplished.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you one thing. I mean, okay, I've always liked Arniel, but the thing is, again, I mean, the boys respond, but sometimes it's a game plan. Sometimes it's, changing during a game, adjusting on the fly. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just line combinations.
Yeah.
But I guess.
Yeah, I understand, Reynolds, but it's like when you have when you got guys standing upright in the offensive zone and the puck is being turned over like that to me has nothing to do with the game plan at hand. That's individual efforts, Right, and that's under the guise of the head coach. I'm not going to sit there and deny that it is. Yeah. But I just think that we've seen a different team over the last handful of games. Reynolds, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. 204-780-6868. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7. 204-780-6800. Brought to you by Boston Pizza. Come in for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. Hey, phone lines are jammed. Text line is jammed. Free for all Friday. What did you think of the loss yesterday? How do the Jets fix this? I don't know.
Free for all Friday. We'll figure it out in the next 40 minutes.
You will help us figure it out when we come back.
Let's figure it out together.
At noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
I think we can squeeze a caller in here. Hey, Tim. Yeah. Hey, Tim. Welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
Two things. Number one.
Oh, no. Oh, Tim, you cut out, start again.
Yeah, Tim, you cut out, start again, and you only got 30 seconds.
Okay, then I'll just talk about this quick. Last year, we were probably supposed to be this team that we are now, don't you guys think? And then Connor Hellebuyck decided to win the Vezina and the Hart at the same time. Don't you guys think?
Absolutely not. They were the best defensive team in hockey and the highest scoring line in 5-on-5. It wasn't all Connor Hellebuyck.
The depth scoring, too. I mean, how many goal scorers did they have in double-digit goals last year, too, Tim?
Totally agree, but he also won the Jennings too. You know what I mean?
Hellebuyck can't score goals, and the Jets were like top in the league in scoring.
And it was the team defensive
the power
in front
play
of him
was great.
That helped him do this. He won the Vezina when they were horrific defensively. He won the Hart when the team in front of him played much better.
So you don't think he's our most important player, and when he's not going, we're just not going?
He is your most important player, but he's not the only thing that had them find success last year.
Thanks for the call, Tim. Appreciate it. You want a car wash?
Car wash, Timmy? Timmy, call back. We'll give you a car wash.
He's gone.
Sorry to call you Timmy. I don't like it when people call me Jimmy, so sorry,
Jimmy.
Tim.
All right, Jimmy, we'll be right back. Call the Boston Pizza Jets in your hotline.
Jimmy's going to be right back.
Open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Brought to you by Boston Pizza. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15. We'll be right back. More of your calls. Phone lines are jammed after this.
Jimmy likes hockey.
Outside of some defensive lapses, I think you look at the score in 6-1, but at this time, wins and losses, it's either you get 2 points or you don't. We really needed that one, so it makes this weekend super critical for us.
Adam Lowry there, yeah, super critical. Beyond, what's more than super critical? Hypercritical?
Yeah,
maximum critical.
An effort like last night, and I'm not trying to bestow the virtues of Adam Lowry, but this would eat him alive.
It should.
It would bother every player. Like every player would be like, we didn't play well, we didn't have it. This is desperate times. But to Adam, this would really exactly what he said, right?
This texter says, wow, just a little surprised how you treated that last caller. Not cool. Maybe better not to have a talk show if everyone has to agree in order to express themselves without being berated. Pretty sad.
Did we berate Tim?
Did we berate Tim?
We asked him to call back, actually, because we ran out of time.
And then we gave him a car wash.
And we tried to give him a car wash. And the only thing we were trying to do was hurry him up because we were out of time. And that's why we said to call back. If that's your berating in these days, who's the texter?
No name, but I'm
shocked there's no name on there.
Yeah, no name.
I'm stunned. No name on criticism?
Yeah, we just didn't. I didn't agree with Tim, and Tim doesn't agree with us on that, so that's fine.
Well, no, but he said, is he their best player? Yes, he is their best player. But he's not the reason they won the President's Trophy last year. He's won Vezina trophies when he's had to win them a Vezina trophy in order for them to make the playoffs because they were horrific defensively.
Yeah. And
then Rick Bowness came in, and he put in this system, and then Scott Arniel last year got them to elevate the system. I think people forget that how good, everybody's looking at the results this year, and then they go, well, they won the President's Trophy last year, and they think that was Connor Hellebuyck. This team defensively last year was a juggernaut. They won back-to-back Jennings trophies because they were the best defensive team in hockey, and not maybe statistically the best, but one of the top 5 to allow Hellebuyck to do that. And then, as you pointed out, the goal scoring they put up last year, they had depth scoring. They had the second power play unit quite often on any given night was better than the first. They had a depth power play. And that top line of everybody going, why don't they break up Connor and Scheifele? Because they were the highest scoring line in hockey last year, 5-on-5.
Yeah, I mean, they were tied for third in goals last year with 275. Their power play was first in the league. I mean, that's not Connor Hellebuyck.
Scheifele, Connor, and Velarde scored more 5-on-5 than Draisaitl and McDavid, than McKinnon and Natchez, or at the time Rantanen, than Tampa Bay's top line. They scored more 5-on-5. That's not Connor Hellebuyck. Now, Connor Hellebuyck is their best player, but they have other really good players, and when they play really well and do the defensive system, that allows Connor Hellebuyck to be even better and win a Hart Trophy.
Yeah.
That's all we were saying to Tim, but we weren't berating him, and I'm sorry, put your name on it if you're going to text in and criticize us. And if you don't like a counterpoint, then I don't know what you're asking for. This isn't call in and agree. This is call in, let's share opinions.
Well, yeah, and also, I mean, if you're also gonna say it was, listen, okay, Neil Pionk had 10 goals last year. Mason Appleton had 10 goals last year. Vladislav Nemestikov had 11. Josh Morrissey had 14. Alex Iafallo had 15. Adam Lowry had 16. Nino Niederreiter had 17. Cole Perfetti had 18. Nikolai Ehlers had 24. Gabriel Velarde had 27. Scheifele had 39.
None of that has to do with Connor Hellebuyck.
Kyle Connor had 41.
And none of that has to do with Connor Hellebuyck.
And Morgan Barron had 8 goals last year.
Niederreiter had 37 points.
The depth was real last year, everybody. I know that and listen, and this year, let's just contrast that to this year again here, where the Jets had that many players in double-digit goals. This year, they have Morgan Barron with 10, Alex Iafallo with 11, Morrissey with 12, Velarde with 26, Kyle Connor with 31, and Mark Scheifele with 31. I mean, so the depth did not show up. It didn't.
Take 3 of those 5 players you named and give them the same points. This team's in the playoffs.
Yeah, likely.
The number of 1-goal games they've lost this year because of lack of depth scoring. But to Tim's point, that's all I was saying is, no, yeah. I don't think that if he's not playing well, they don't win games. That wasn't the case last year. But Tim, call back 780-6868. Feel free. We'd love to let you finish your thought.
Yeah, no, Tim I'm fairly certain he got by what he wanted to get by. Let's bring Jeff on the show. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, guys, don't berate me, please.
Well done.
It depends, Jeff. I'm really angry today, so go ahead.
Oh, well, Cam, you're the least intimidating of the two. Jim's a big guy. But Jim, who are you hating on now that Stanley's gone? Just curious.
Who am I what?
Jeff's kidding. Jeff's joking.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he hasn't picked yet, but he's actually ran a couple names by me, and I'm going to get back to him with an answer. Yeah.
I got a couple of points. One, I've said several times, Morgan Barron is vastly underused on a team that needs that extra goal. Why he's not in the top 6. Other than the first line and Perfetti on a really good day, Barron's our best forward. And
he's good.
Lowry, given his age and the way he plays and his hip surgery and his lack of production since he came back, is this the end of maybe my second favorite Jet of the last 15 years?
No, I don't think so.
I was going to bring that up. Somebody brought up his lack of production and how long it's been, and I noticed that too. And I was going to say the other day when somebody brought that up that I think the hip is catching up to him. I'm not making excuses, and he would never either. But I think, you miss games at the start, then you cut, this hip surgery is a big deal. And so I just think at this time of the year, he's slowing down a bit and stuff. But I think if he has a full regular offseason without surgery, that he can get back to where he's at, which is probably 30 to 35 points.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Yeah, take care. Thanks so much for the call. Let's go to Phil. Hey, Phil.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Hey, Phil.
Hi. I think it's time for Chevy to go. No offense, right? I don't think you should have given that much of an extension.
What's the last move that Chevy's made that's really upset you, Phil?
I'm not. I just think that it's. I just think they need to get someone new.
You just think that it's just like a change for the sake of a change?
I watched Jets since WHA days, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen this song and dance before. Okay, I've seen the same thing, the song and dance. like you say, they need change. Like
I'm just saying. Like I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not making a point here, but I'm saying change for the sake of change. Is that what you think? Because
I think they should have gave like they haven't gotten out of the first round in ages, right?
Well, they did last year.
They did, but barely, right? Barely.
Well, they not only barely got out, but then they took Dallas to 6 games. It's not like they were swept in the next round.
And then lost in overtime.
I respect this because I hear this a lot, Phil, that it's just time. It's been too long. I'm not in that boat. You have to show me something that you need to get fired for. You have to have a couple of seasons of this degrading team. And the reality is they've had the highest finishes the previous 2. Like in the summer last year, were you saying fire Chevy?
They said fire Chevy. I'm like, well, when they signed him, let's put it this way. When his contract came up, I just thought to myself, they should have gave him like a couple of years to see what he can do.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Phil. All right. I appreciate the call.
I think he's on the hot seat right now. I think this summer is they cannot miss the playoffs again next year.
Thanks.
I think he should have been on the hot seat like 2 years ago.
Okay. All right.
Well, 2 years ago they finished 4th overall, and then the year after that they finished 1st and went to the second round. So I don't know a lot of organizations that would go, yeah, it's time for a change.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Phil. Appreciate it. 204-780-6868. Well, I mean, the last major move that Cheveldayoff made was the trade with Buffalo, right? For Isak Rosén. Bring in Jacob Bryson, get the 2nd and 4th round pick back for Logan Stanley and Braden Shen.
We don't have to go into this, Ken. People want to blame somebody for this season. People want somebody to pay for this season, and I get that.
Yeah.
Bigger picture is, and I said this before, somebody pointed out to me, well, Buffalo fired their GM, and look at what they're doing right now. And I'll say, fair enough, but Buffalo has not made the playoffs for 5 straight years. That's why you get fired. You do not get fired when you finish 4th and then 1st and then come into a season. Again, he needs to be evaluated, and I think he's on the hot seat now because you have a core that's ready to win from my perspective. So you don't have 2 seasons to build around this.
Yeah.
You have a summer.
And I also say this, like the team that Kevin Adams put together is the team that is playing on the ice right now.
GM didn't come in and trade a bunch of guys.
Yarmo Kekalainen made it. He's made a couple.
He went and got Logan Stanley.
Yeah, he's made some moves, but the team that elevated Buffalo to the spot that they are right now was the team that Kevin Adams put together. You know,
we talk about him needing to be fired because of this season, like this has been coming for 3 years in a row. And if it had been coming for 3 years in a row, I would be the first one to go, look, this is downgrading. It's continuously downgrading. It's time to go. It's not. It's 67 games of a downgrade from what they did last year. I don't know a lot of organizations that would look at this and go, he's gone.
Thanks, Richard. Richard, you're on the line. What's up?
Well, I mean, last year the Jets, they were first out of the gate. They kind of almost coasted to a first place finish. They didn't suffer major injuries. They won all the 1-goal games. They scored late when they had to. Hellebuyck stood on his head. I mean, every roll of the dice went the Jets' way last year. And this year, they're dealing with adversity. And the rest of the league had a whole season last year to make adjustments on the Jets. And they've caught up to them. And then you throw in the injuries, and this is what you get. They haven't been drafting at the front of the line. They've been drafting in the middle to the end of the line, and this is where GMs and coaches make their money. This is with a team like this, and And you know what? I mean, because it's easy when you're a last place team and you get like Edmonton. Look at Edmonton. How many first place picks did they get? Did they have to go through until they got to Connor McDavid? They had
3 years in a row.
They had Nugent. Yes, they had Taylor Hall, Nugent Hopkins. I'm sure I'm missing somebody else.
Nail Yakupov and his long tenure in the National Hockey League.
exactly. So
he thought that going first overall in the draft, just that he didn't have to do anything else after that. That was Neil Jakobov's opinion. But sorry, I'm interrupting you, Richard.
Well, that's Edmonton not doing their homework on the guy they're picking.
Yeah.
But again, that's on the GMs. And the coachings and the
I get what you're saying, Richard. I mean, it's
the Jets are suffering partly from their own success, partly from they're not making the adjustments. Like last year, goals came easy to our top line. This year, they're not coming easy because everybody's got film on these guys. They gotta change. Like Connor McDavid, the guys that perennially have success are guys that evolve with the game.
Yeah,
they change their game. And I mean, that's all I can say is hopefully everybody heals. Hopefully they make a few changes to the Rubik's Cube and it comes up 8 squares of the same color.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Rich. Thanks for the call, Rich. I appreciate it. That was a good one. That was a good one. I like that. And let's squeeze Derek on the show. Hey, Derek, we got to be real quick. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great show. Listen, should we get rid of Arneal? Should we get rid of Hellebuyck? I don't know what the right answer is. I do look at both of them, and I wonder about the game plan every night.
Yeah.
Is the strategy right? And if it is, then it's a matter of execution and holding the players accountable. One of the things I do wonder about Chevy, the Jonathan Taves thing, as great a story as that could have been, I do believe that's been a complete failure this year. And signing Nyquist obviously hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
If the Jets decide to move on from Arneal, I've always wondered about Gerard Gallant. Why isn't he back in the league? I'm not a big fan of the Columbus Blue Jackets, but I do like the work that Rick Bowness did while he was here. And as a result, with his accountability message, I'm kind of pulling for Columbus to get in the playoffs or stay in the playoffs and have a bit of a run.
Well, I'm always going to go for Rick Bowness because he's such a great guy.
What a turnaround, though. Like, that's 2 organizations. He's
a fantastic coach. Yeah. And there's a lot, Derek, I get what you're saying. There's a lot of blame to go around. And a lot of it falls at the feet of the general manager. A lot of it falls at the feet of the coach, and a lot of it falls at the feet of the players too, as well.
It's a combination.
And a lot of it falls at ownership as well. I mean, in the culture that Shipman has fostered. I mean, he's in this too. And so, Derek, I understand. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it.
You bet. Take care, guys.
204-7.
At noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
This hour brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road, and at washmethod.com. The VIP caller, which was Tim today, will always win, or text her during the other days of the week, will win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. Boston Pizza for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. And congratulations to Mike.
Hey, gents, a couple meanderings here on our squad here on the Jets. Morgan Barron, I've been talking about him for probably 3 years now. I got all day for him. He's a middle 6 guy, definitely solid. I'd love to see him get a crack at playing second-line center, but certainly third-line center. Adam Lowry is a fourth-line center. The Jets go find someone to play second-line center. That's how the lines, I think, should roll out. Your comment on Kyle Connor on back-checking. Back-checking is not a skill. Back-checking is a will. And if he wants to, continue to make his game better and more solid and play a 200-foot game, it's just purely will to do that. But I get your point, Cam. 315 goals in the amount of games he's played. Does that buy you an opportunity to not back-check? Possibly.
Well, thanks for that call, Mike. I think we've talked about Kyle Connor earlier on the show, but let's talk about Morgan Barron here.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've said this many times. I'm going to say it again. I think why Morgan Barron is doing so well, because he's being put in the best situation to succeed to the best of his ability.
Yeah. And look, he's growing a long way. I've already said I know where he plays, but he's no longer a fourth liner. He's a third liner. And I think when this is over, like 2 more losses, and they're eliminated, there's an E beside them, I think you might see him move up in the lineup just to see what he can do.
Yeah.
But he also, I don't want to take anything away from him because he's worked so hard and he's developed and he's coming around. Maybe there is more from him and his game because his game looks really good right now. But I also think that he's grown enough to be dominant where he is, right? Like, I mean, to play second line center, and I know this sounds ridiculous on this year's team, but to play second line center, you got to put up 60 points. You don't put up 20 points and play second line center.
Jim Toth will take you all the way until 2 o'clock. Thank you very much to Jeffrey Forte for producing the show. That's it for me. Be back on Monday. See ya.
Have a good weekend.